Greetings from Tokyo, my dear friends. This is Daisuke, and I very much hope that this video finds you well and in very good spirits wherever you are in the world. And today it is the middle of April 2021, and the Criterion Collection has announced on its website its planned releases for July 2021. And if you don't mind, I'd just like to go through them very briefly and just share with you my initial thoughts and comments. Of course, they might change, and they probably will as we get closer or as we actually explore the release itself and the quality and the overall presentation and the supplements, etc. But for now, in terms of the news that we have just received just now, again, at the Criterion Collection website, let us look at these and consider how we feel about them. So the July 2021 release schedule, what is planned. We have 5 titles that have been announced on this occasion. First is Bringing Up Baby. Next is Mirror. Next is Deep Cover. Next is Working Girls. And last but not least is the film La Piscine. So these are a very interesting collection of works to release in the month of July. And let's just go through them one at a time. So once again, please, you can look at the Criterion website for detailed information, for specifications, for cover art designs that are proposed as of this time, and the like. So I encourage you to check out the Criterion Collection website directly. But first, let's go over, just very briefly, these titles one at a time. The first being that which is scheduled for release July 6th, 2021, and to be assigned spy number 1085 from Howard Hawks, Bringing Up Baby. Wow, this is going to be really exciting. It's purported to be based on a new 4K, restored 4K digital transfer. And so I haven't seen this particular transfer release, so this will be something very new for me. But of course, I have seen the film, and it is such a delight, a kind of romp. It's also very much filled with a delightful, gleeful sort of air of spontaneity and freshness and life. And so this is going to be exciting. This is this is sort of big news in the context of Criterion and also in the context of Blu-ray physical media, because this film, Bringing Up Baby, has always come up in conversation as to when it will get a Blu-ray release, when it will get a release by Criterion, if at all. So this was always in the wish list of various people, I think, in the Criterion Collection fan community. And to have it here at last, released like this later on this year, my goodness, this is going to be very exciting indeed. I should point out too that the supplements seem to indicate an earlier commentary track. So I'm familiar with the commentary track by Peter Bogdanovich, and so I think this 2005 Peter Bogdanovich commentary track, which is referred to and which is going to be included according to the Criterion website, I think this is the one that I'm thinking about in my head. So I'll check that when the actual release arrives. But if so, I'm looking forward to that one. Plus, there are a number of new supplements, or supplements which are described as being new. And so there's also another new selected scene commentary as well. So this is something to look forward to, or something that I am looking forward to, because as I say, this is one of the greats. It's, of course, a great example of Howard Hawks' style. It's also this brilliant remarkable and just iconic sort of chemistry that we see engaged with the performers at hand. And I'm speaking, of course, of Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant and company. And I underline the phrase "and company" because, as we know, there are a number of other significant characters that we encounter when we see Bringing Up Baby. But also, we are reminded of the brilliance of the chemistry between Hepburn and Grant, and also just the liveliness and brilliant sophistication and bubbly nature of this. And so this is going to be very exciting indeed, and I know I am looking forward to this, and I know many other people will probably be looking forward to this immensely. So this is Bringing Up Baby, scheduled for release, as I say, July 6th, 2021. And next up, we have also scheduled for release July 6th, 2021, to be assigned spy number 1084. This is the work from 1975, Andrei Tarkovsky's work, which is called in English Mirror. This has been, I think, rumored very heavily since some time back, and the expectations were very high as to when Criterion would release this later this year. And lo and behold, Criterion has come through with such promise, as it were. And we're going to get this on Criterion Disc Blu-ray in July. And the Blu-ray version is indicated, by the way, as being 2 discs. So that is very interesting in and of itself. And I think it has to do with some of the supplemental material as well that's planned to be included. I'll get to that momentarily. But the film Mirror is one of those miraculous moments in the career of Tarkovsky, which is filled to the brim with miraculous moments. And there is something of an almost innate and fundamental quality about cinema and subjectivity and the human condition that is brilliantly portrayed and captured by Tarkovsky's film here. This is one of those things, because I don't know if I'm describing it well, and I'll try to better distill my thoughts by the time this release arrives at my doorstep. But in the meantime, I think this is perhaps one of the greatest examples in cinema, in my view, of the way in which cinema can, at the same time, capture 2 seemingly different opposites of the human experience. So what are those? So first is, to be very basic, it's the subjective experience versus the objective experience. So subjectivity versus objectivity. Because after all, cinema is capturing images and seeing movement through the process of many images being shown at a fast rate of speed. And that gives the illusion of movement. But this is all capturing, say, a camera and a performer or an artist or an actor in a scene. And so we are given the viewpoint of the camera. And so many times this is an objective view because we are looking at their story vis-a-vis the camera. Well, there's something very magical also about Tarkovsky's work Mirror, because here we get also, at the same time, the idea of the camera being as well the subjective viewpoint or the subconscious type of perspective from, we understand, the filmmaker himself, and perhaps on a more universal level, some kind of stand-in or representation of our own subjective experiences and what cinema can do in terms of the expression of such subjective experiences. As I say, it's an objective medium, but it's used in this way to try to express some subjective feelings or emotions or memory or dreams or other types of experiences that are so personal and so intimate to the human condition. So that is I think I apologize for my very crude way of putting it, but that is my attempt to try to express one of the, I consider to be the most fundamentally brilliant aspects of the film Mirror. And so to be able to have the Criterion Collection disc, or discs as I say, because it is going to be a two-ray disc set for the Blu-ray, to be able to have this in July when it's going to arrive is going to be really wonderful to behold. So I'm looking forward to this immensely. And it is purported to be based on the new 2K digital restoration. And so I haven't seen this restoration version yet, so I'm looking forward to what it might have to offer. And also there are a number of special features. And I indicated that it's saying 2 discs for the Blu-ray and also 2 discs for the DVD version as well. But it seems like this is to account for the fact that the film itself is 106 minutes here, according to the Criterion website. So it is not a relatively speaking, a film with a long running time. But what I'm thinking is that the supplements will probably have some feature length level documentaries and the like, and that's what it seems to be indicating in the special features section on the Criterion website. So that's suggesting that we're going to get a lot in terms of documentaries and special features, which is exciting, very, very exciting. So the release of Mirror, this could be for a lot of people the defining release of the year. So we shall look forward to this when it arrives. Again, July 6th, 2021. Next, scheduled for release July 13th, 2021. This is the film that is going to be designated spine number 1086 from 1992. And the filmmaker is Bill Duke. Deep Cover. This is a really nice surprise. I wasn't expecting this at all, but now that it's here, my goodness, this is really wonderful. I haven't seen this in quite some time. This came in the early 90s or so, and so I was able to catch up with it around that time or a little bit afterwards during the VHS period, again during the early to mid 90s. And so this was a film that I caught up with at that time, and it was a very fascinating look and a key story, and also the performances, in particular Lawrence Fishburne here, and it's also described, I think, as a type of modern day noir, and also a psychological based examination, as well as being this type of thriller drama in many respects. So Deep Cover, my goodness, this is a really wonderful and delightful surprise, and I'm so glad it's here. And what's wonderful about this for me in particular is that included in the release are the special features, of course, among which are new interviews with, for example, director Bill Duke. Now, it was only much later, after I had seen Deep Cover, that I had realized the director of Bill Duke and his career, not only as a director but also as an actor. And so when I found out that information, I was really amazed, and it made me very curious. But now it looks like the Criterion Collection will have further opportunity to explore the work of Bill Duke in his career as a filmmaker and as a director. And so I'm anticipating with much high hopes that such interview with director Bill Duke will provide further insight into his directorial career, which is going to be fascinating indeed. And again, of course, in the context of Deep Cover. So really wonderful. And also I see a number of special features, including a discussion about the history of hip-hop and the film's music. And I think this is referring, of course, to the single, the Dr. Dre single. And if that's the case, then this is going to be this is going to be really interesting indeed to explore that aspect, which is also a very significant aspect of that film. I'm not necessarily an expert in music and hip hop music, but I do recognize the sort of thematic significance of the use of that particular track, or the context of that in this film. And so to have this particular discussion available as part of the supplements is going to be very exciting indeed. So I'm looking forward to that very much. Deep cover, wow, and the cover art too. This looks splendid. You know, I'm always used to that. I don't know if you know the VHS box art. It had that maybe orange, reddish hue to it. And I think Jeff Goldblum and Lawrence Fishburne were on the cover of that VHS box art. But there's something very alluring and captivating. It captures that for lack of a better phrase, that neo-noir spirit of the film. Deep cover, and Lawrence Fishburne's character at the center of it. Really great. So Deep Cover, scheduled for release July 13th, 2021. And to continue on, we have the next film, also scheduled for release July 13th. This is from 1986, and the filmmaker is Lizzie Borden. Spine number 1087. Working Girls. Wow. This is another film that I am so surprised in a great way. I'm so surprised as to this announcement. Lizzie Borden and Working Girls in particular. This is a film that I haven't seen in some time, and I think I am. It's been quite a while, and maybe when I saw it, or the time that I was watching Working Girls and also Born in Flames. As I say, it was some time, and so I think I'm looking forward to seeing this and seeing how I will react to it a little bit later in my life now. And when it arrives, I will try to express that with you in a later video. But Working Girls, my feelings about my engagement with the film at the time, or that it was, I think for me, a very sort of interesting, almost straightforward look at this type of character in this type of employment, or in this type of work or trade, the sex worker industry. And there was a matter-of-factness element to the atmosphere and the portrayal that I found that sometimes quite alarming, or not alarming, but sometimes quite shocking or surprising in terms of the directness of it. Let me put it that way. It was almost like a jolt to me, and also it had this sense of being almost like a comedy, or expressing aspects of the absurd. And I don't mean absurd necessarily in the characters themselves, but how they are trying to cope with certain social conventions as expressed around them. And this is also providing a story about the characters and their work, but also their emotions and their personal lives. And so I'm as we know, the profession that is the subject matter of this is one that there's a certain degree of stigma attached to it, at least in terms of maybe conventional social conventions, as it were. And so this type of exploration, I think, is very illuminating, and it certainly was for me at the time that I first saw it. But now that Criterion will provide this opportunity for re-exploration, I am looking forward to this immensely. And I'll try to recall how I felt, and I'll try to compare that to how I might react either similarly or differently when I watch it again later this year. But I'm looking forward to this very much. And Lizzie Borden, my goodness, there is another very fascinating voice in cinema. Born in Flames also is a remarkable achievement. But Working Girls, this is going to be very exciting. So the Criterion release appears to be also quite packed with a number of supplements that are described as being new. And also there is an audio commentary track from 2007. And so I haven't heard this audio commentary track, so I will look forward to this very much. And as I say, this is a great surprise, a really great surprise. I had no idea. I'm not usually good with guessing what's going to come next in the release announcement, but Lizzie Borden and Working Girls, my goodness, this is going to be a very interesting and engaging watch, or rewatch indeed. So this is going to be scheduled for July 13th, 2021. And last, but certainly not least, another interesting film scheduled for release July 20th, 2021 for Spine number 1088. Filmmaker is Jacques Deray. The film is 1969, according to the Criterion website, La Piscine. And La Piscine is, I understand, the word in French for pool or swimming pool. So La Piscine. Again, I apologize for my very poor French pronunciation. But this is a very cool and seductive looking thriller mystery and type of almost savagely cool, intense drama. I don't know if I'm describing it well, but that's my impression of it, because it has these it has this way of depicting these characters in this age, so the late 60s, and there are aspects of passion and also aspects of like love triangle or love triangles perhaps, and there is this tension between let's say between certain characters and how they relate to others, and then you add on to that elements of the past and also elements of excess and passion and drink, and also the aforementioned La Piscine or swimming pool, which becomes a very strong image, not just in terms of metaphor, but also directly in terms of the plot, because without saying too much, it is actually very, very crucial to the plot of this film, La Piscine, as I say, which is set in the context of a type of mystery or film about the passions and the excesses set in this cool design of the 1960s. And this is a very type of it has this almost cool chic aspect to it as well as being really compelling, as I say, as this enigma type of work, and also as this human drama filled with triangles and passions, as well as mysteries that will find their resolutions, or will they, when we get to the film's conclusion. So this is a really interesting film, La Piscine, and this is also one that I wasn't expecting, but I'm very glad it's here, and it's purported to be based on new 4K digital transfer, and this is great. It's also going to include the swimming pool, First Love Never Dies, the English language version of the film, and also a number of supplements, including alternate ending, documentary, and new interview, etc. So this is the Blu-ray, and I will look forward to this watching, or rewatching, I should say, when it arrives. Jacques Deray, this is La Piscine. So again, Criterion really surprises me in a great way with its announcements, and this month is no exception to that. This is really a pleasant surprise, and I'm so glad. I'm really glad, and I love this little detail about the cover art. Check out the cover art on the Criterion website if you can. La Piscine, the text, the font, the way that the S and the E and the A as well are depicted in the word La Piscine. Very interesting, and of course that image that is depicted on the cover art, it's very almost it's very representative of the mystery and the passion and the relationships between men and women and the pool. Everything is in that shot. Brilliant. So this is going to be scheduled for release July 20th, 2021 for Spine number 1088. The film is Jacques Deray's La Piscine. And so that is the announcement as far as the July 2021 releases are concerned, or the scheduled releases, at least as of the time of this video. I must say again that we're getting Blu-ray releases, or Blu-ray and DVD releases for each of them, and maybe those who are waiting for films like, say, Mirror and Bringing Up Baby to emerge. Well, this is your month. You're not getting just one, you're getting two of these heavily rumored titles that are finally getting their release dates from Criterion. We shall see how these films will play and what their presentations are when the discs arrive. But as far as announcements go, this is a very exciting collection of films. And I must say, Deep Cover, wow, and Working Girls, and La Piscine. La Piscine is, I think, if you haven't seen it and you like this type of cool, suave mystery film of a sort, and I think you're going to really enjoy La Piscine. And Working Girls in Deep Cover, this is so great for me personally because, as I say, I haven't had the opportunity to watch these films in quite a while, and so it'll be great to try to rewatch and maybe reassess my feelings about them, and just to get a sense of that and try to engage with the films yet again. And Lizzie Borden and Bill Duke, that's great, and to be able to also to explore the career of Bill Duke. You know, as I mentioned earlier, I had made the connection between Bill Duke the actor and Bill Duke the director, but I had never, from that, and that's my own fault, but I had never explored the director Bill Duke's career in that way. So this release by Criterion will hopefully provide the basis for that exploration. I'm looking forward to that tremendously. So that's yet another example of why I think, for me, this July release announcement is very exciting. Very, very exciting. And just to end on that, I think for a lot of people, maybe it could be Tarkovsky's Mirror. That could be the release that one would be looking forward to. And because I have received a number of comments in the past about that, and I know that there are a lot of people who have been anticipating this quite highly. And we shall see when that film is released, and we shall see what it has to offer. I am looking forward to this immensely, and hopefully that and other films I'll try to share my thoughts about when they arrive and when I have a chance to explore them. So this is the July 2021 release announcement. What do you think, my friends? Are you happy? Are you unhappy? What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts and your views and your reactions in any form or any way. Please let me know in the comment section below, and we can go from there. In the meantime, my friends, please continue to be happy and healthy and well, and please keep on watching a lot of great movies. Thank you so much, as always, for your time. I very much appreciate it. Stay strong, stay safe, and cheers.